For this technique, if you choose it, this is collaging the background. And there's a lot of different directions you could take it. So like this picture on the right, it might not necessarily look like what you would think of or imagine when you hear the word collage. But basically you're putting different objects, overlapping them into the background. So for example, with the flowers, maybe on a separate piece of paper, you draw some flowers or a butterfly, a couple of butterflies, cut them out, and then collage and paste them on top of part of the portrait into the background to create your collage. So think about different objects that you could maybe draw on different paper, cut out, and put together. You could also do newspaper or magazines. Think about found objects, so leaves from outside, construction paper, tinfoil. What can you use to create an interesting collage that goes with maybe the colors of your portrait or the feel of the portrait in general? So here's a few more examples, and I know the portraits themselves are collage, and you could technically add some collage onto your portraits, and that could be an interesting direction to take things. But mainly focus on the background in these. So on the right, this is mainly construction paper. You could maybe throw in some tinfoil, think about what else you could add, or even magazines, and they're ripped out and repieced back together on top of the portrait. And then on the left, you have more of the newspaper background. So it's all black and white, and it's overlapping and fills the screen. So think about kind of the direction you want to go with things. Here's an example that I will play for you now of putting together a collage. So starting out looking at what colors are going to work well with what you already have. So for mine, I have some blue in the background, so I'm going to just mainly stick with blue for the collage. Since I have some orange, it could be cool to kind of throw in some orange as well. So think about your color scheme and how to incorporate that into the collage. But I'm just going to be working with a magazine. Again, be creative though. There's lots of materials you can use. And I'm just gluing these sections down. So I'm ripping them out. I'm kind of outlining the face with the magazine. And you can kind of vary the size that you cut out and how you put it together that way. And again, I'm just throwing some glue down and trying to arrange it so the edge of the collage outlines the face. It could be interesting too to add a few pieces on top of the face or overlapping certain parts or areas. So be creative with the application as well. But I'm going to skip ahead here so you can see a little bit more added. So now I have kind of an outline around the face. Again, I'm keeping it fairly consistent with the color. So I found just one full page of color that works with what I have. And then I also decided to put in some light blue, so to change the value a little bit. So I found a page with light blue, and I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it around the outside of the collage here to kind of space it out, spread things so that there's some movement. I'm going to go ahead and skip a little bit more. So now you can see I added some of that blue on the outside. It's spaced out, and I decided to, instead of fill the whole background, kind of fade it out. So now I'm taking smaller pieces and spreading them further apart towards the outsides. That way I still can see some of the background that I did with the watercolor painting. So here is the end result with the collage. And again, it could be interesting to add maybe some pieces into the hair and get some of that movement in other places throughout.